Order. I give the call to the honourable member for Ryan.
Minister for Resources, 68% of emissions under the safeguard mechanism come from corporations and their peak bodies that donated $896,000 to Labor's election campaign, including coal and gas companies. The proposed safeguard mechanism changes won't stop new coal and gas and will allow fossil fuel companies to continue polluting through offsets. Minister, are you willing to make the climate crisis worse by approving new coal and gas projects for your corporate mates?
I'm just going to ask the member for Ryan to rephrase the end part of her question.
Yeah.
I'll ask her to repeat the question. I'll ask her to rephrase the end part of the question.
Are you willing to make the climate crisis worse by approving new coal and gas projects?
Thank you. Give the call to the Minister for Resources in Northern Australia.
Thanks, Mr Speaker, and I thank. Well, I don't actually really thank the member for a question. I think it's I think it's immature and beneath your position in this place. Certainly, the tone you adopted toward the end. Of course, as the Shadow Resources Minister, when I was in opposition, and also as now the Resources Minister, I do deal with the resources industry. Of course I would, and no one would expect any less. And I'm not the only one, and neither should I be. I imagine you might meet with the resources industry, and I encourage all crossbenchers and all members of Parliament to engage with the resources industry, because they're one of the biggest employers in this country, and they are the foundation of the prosperity of this country. Since we started extraction in this country, whether it be through gold or coal or nickel, and more modern times iron ore and other commodities, more recently new developments in critical minerals such as lithium, cobalt, developments of nickel hydroxide, which will be the underpinning of clean energy technologies that will take us to net zero emissions. All these industries, the industries that have been existent in this country since the 1880s, through extraction right through to today, will play a part in our economy for many years to come. And I think, quite frankly, everyone in this House should respect their role in our economy instead of placing slights on them like I think has just happened. The Safeguards mechanism is a part of this government's proactive response and active response to climate change in this country. All projects, and it's not just in the resources sector, there are other sectors that emit. They will be subject to it, and this government will make sure they are accountable for their emissions, so they lower them, whether it be through reducing their own emissions, changing their technology, adopting new technology, or through credible offsets in this country that we can have confidence in. And I acknowledge the report of Professor Ian Chubb, former Chief Scientist, and the work that the Minister for Climate Change and Energy is doing in regarding making sure that people, the community, the wider community, can have confidence in those offsets. Because the truth of the matter is for a number of years we will still need to use some fossil fuels to get us through this. We want to increase activity in renewables. We have a commitment to net zero emissions by 2050, but even as the International Energy Agency has acknowledged, we will need to keep using products such as gas to make sure we can process critical minerals, which will be required. You are shaking your head. I can see you shaking your head. And you seem to not believe me when I tell you that to process rare earths and critical minerals, which are the basis of all clean energy technology, you will need gas to process it. And they do, and gas companies do have to reach net zero emissions, and they will be held accountable by this government.